Shalom, my name is Yehoshua Yaakov. I'm a didactic scientist making this from Jerusalem. This continues the sequence. This is part 7. In the previous video, the context was answering the questions of what creates life and sustainable life systems. The second question was what creates wealth, and the third, who am I and why am I, in the context of the collapse of the local reality, which signifies and is confirmed empirically and logically as the end of man and mankind's exile, and for the secular, their separation from their authentic self in Freudian constructs. Having said that, we are now at the particular watershed event in history, which was 9/11, and now we're going to continue with the meta-narrative. The meta-narrative of 9/11 is the collapse of the local reality globally. And what this means to you, your family, community, nation, to all mankind, now brings a sea change and in all of our lives, so that this change, so that we understand, and we begin with understanding the gravity, the enormity of this change, not only what it is, but what it means. Okay, it's the most significant change in the last 1,000 years, maybe since the beginning of creation. Everybody has a different opinion, but let's focus now for what it means for the secularists. The secular humanists, it means the end of modernity and the beginning of the postmodern era. For the spiritual humanists, it means the end of man and mankind's exile and the beginning of redemption. Okay, now let's make a general statement and go to some specifics. The meaning of this event is next summarized on its related 4 levels, and those 4 levels are essential to comprehend it. And they are the psycholinguistic, the cognitive, the behavioral, and the psychosocial, or reverse, the psychosocial, the behavioral, the cognitive, and the psycholinguistic level. Okay, psycholinguistic, cognitive, behavioral, and psychosocial. That's the reverse. Okay, having said that, okay, this will provide the viewers really a mere heuristic description of the meta-narrative of this event. And so it begins with the psychosocial level, and on the psychosocial level it means the collapse of the old East-West models, namely communism and socialism, in the East and in the West, capitalism and its failed democracies. Okay, what's the solution to that collapse? If the empirical evidence holds up, and it has so far, the solution is the new East-West convergence model, Humanomics in general, and its 2 paradigms, as replace both East and West old models in convergence to the new center, and that new center is the model of Humanomics in general, based on its new unifying central organizing principle, which is again receiving to give. That's one of its paradigms. Okay, that's the solution on the psychosocial level. On the behavioral level, we now see the 2 major monotheistic religions collapse, Islam and Christianity, and parenthetically also Judaism, close parens, are all now undergoing basic fundamental structural change, as all 3 were based on giving to receive, which happens to be the anthropologic, sociologic, psychologic model of man and mankind's exile, or in secular terms, separation from man's authentic self, as all are now undergoing a fundamental transformation after the end of exile, which we now face, which is exile's denial of its end, and the only way we can overcome that is in receive it to give, and that's the ascent to the quantum reality. Why? Because when you collapse the local reality, you're supposed to be in the quantum reality, but when man and mankind denies it, there's a block. So we can't ascend to inhabit the quantum reality. So we have to end the denial in order to continue man's ascent. Okay, the solution to this problem, to the old giving to receive that is now replaced by Humanomics' new central organizing principle, is receive it to give. That's the solution. But more particularly, it's getting on with ending the denial and deconstructing its ground zero, deprogramming, restoration, and healing on the personal, family, communal, and national levels. Okay, now let's move on to the cognitive level, because we're going to run out of time fast. On the cognitive, this also means two major economies collapse as the G9 appears to follow, since all now need the new economic paradigm. That's the other paradigm of Humanomics that replaces the old division of labor. Full stop. This is to attain the new economy's new world-class international content derived from its development and implementation as new global technological infrastructure. It was probably to be led by America and Americans, because that's the essential strategy of the presented to the Obama campaign, and and it will ultimately devolve to become the international three model only when based on Humanomics' new economic paradigm. The solution to this problem of the collapse of the major economies of the world simultaneously with the collapse of the local reality, and what was the local division of labor was the local reality. Okay, the solution is the old division of labor model is replaced with the new economic paradigm that is the integration of labor in the G9 first, and subsequently globally in all the world's economies, delivering the positive effects of globalization. Okay, lastly, we've got a few minutes left. On the psycholinguistic level, man in mankind's self-created duality. In Hebrew, we call it the klippah. It means what blinds us in our mind. Collapses, and this brings denial, and next, awakening, atonement, restoration, and healing is the requisite deconstruction and deprogramming for the authentic restoration and healing as is now needed by man and all mankind. For the secular, it is another analog, and I'm not going to put that up, and I'm not going to offer that because I don't have any need to waste time being assailed by a lot of opinions. We'll get to that, okay, in convergence. The solution, the old giving to receive model of man and mankind's exile and of the pre-modern and modern eras, is replaced on the individual, family, community, and national levels with Humanomics' new central organizing principle that is receiving to give as the humanity's new center of gravity globally. Summary: the first principle logic of the macro meta change, quote unquote, that we all must now grow and develop to become capable to inhabit is articulated as follows, quote, the truth is the information that never changes parenthetically in finality, close parens, changing parenthetically in intentionality, close parens, end quote, as modeled below. And that's the model, folks, right there, the little circle right there. And that's what I was talking about, and that's why I lost patience with the Hitchens groupies. But okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion. The work of Humanomics in general and its central organizing principle, receiving to give, is world-class science. It's serious. It represents over 4 decades of basic research. Its achievements are very significant, and we won't go into it. But certainly it will be adopted in the United Nations. It will be adopted in the G9, in the European Union, in the American Congress, in terms of the new economic paradigm, as a major project to transform the structure fundamentally of the economy in America and in the G9. Certainly, it'll happen in England and in Germany. Those are two that I'm aware of. Canada as well. The others, Japan and the others, we'll see. China, India, okay. Having said that, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. This is the second video, the second part. So this video should be seen only after looking at part 6, because the video in part 5, everybody complained that it was too fast. It covered everything in video 5, so part 5 video was too fast. So part 6 was made, it slowed down the pace and divided this presentation into 2 videos. And this is part 7. There will be part 8, which is a commentary, and part 9 will be a consensus of what is the relative understanding of the responses and so forth. What is the where are we on the ascent and on the learning curve? Having said that, I thank you for listening. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov. I'm the author of Humanomics Trilogy, about 2,500 pages in its 5th draft, over 200 graphics. Will be published on the web sometime in the year ahead. I thank you for listening, and Kabel B'Shvilatet, we wish you the blessing from which is receiving to give in English. Thank you for listening.